Guardian
I
Angel.
think we saw
So,
like day
Seconds
one,
remaining.
maybe it had a little bit more success, but it seems like these past couple of days haven't looked as great, and it feels like going up against the Storm. I mean, that's a hero that can get on top of the Omni, and he can be a lot tankier than other defensive supports, you know, like the Oracle, for an example. So maybe that can just enable the Omni Knight to survive just long enough to get the abilities off, but at least they already have a hero in the Storm Spirit that can get on top of the Omni. But it's nice again, like we see Elephant, they have either FY to disrupt the initial jump with Fissure, or he can even, you know, drop a bigger ultimate in Echo, or you've got the Omni Knight to Heavenly Grace and just get this and get the hard dispel. So Elephant have great ways to really minimize the effectiveness of how Team Aster can start these fights.
sorry, I'm just going through
Yeah,
the past match history and doing a bit of a
taking a look.
count here. So, I think it's won 3 out of 8 games so far. So it's
Dire
not
team,
horrible.
Radiant team
One of them it probably shouldn't have. And then the other successes have come a bit more from when RNG have been playing it. So it's been paired with the likes of a Lifestealer, a Sven, I believe. No, a Gyrocopter was the other one. But again, the Gyrocopter hasn't been looking that good
10
at
no, it
all
hasn't.
this game.
remaining.
Okay, well, Aster picking up the Oracle and the
5
Monkey King.
seconds
So
remaining.
a pretty strong safe lane duo where Monkey King and an aggressive position 1, and that can kind of enable the Oracle to help him also utilize that early burst damage that can come through for the false promise. So we'll see. Sorry, the Purifying Flames, I should say. So we'll see how Elephant, if they want to go for their Yang hero at the moment, because you already see, you see everything. You pick your position 2. Like, what would you rather them go at the moment? They don't see their off lane, so maybe they'll keep Eurus's hero to last.
Mm, I think I think you can afford to pick it in either order, right? Because if you pick, we mentioned before, right? You know that this Earthshaker wants to rotate, so you need to pick something for Yang that's going to enable him to have a good time. Either you pick it now, and then you get 2 bans that are going to mean that you're going to actually dominate another lane, or you pick Eurus's hero now and then just leave Yang's until the very end. I would probably pick Yang's now, just so that there have been a fair few offlaners already
Dire
removed
team
from the
ban.
pool. I think this is pretty, well, somewhat sustainable. Good movement speed still.
Trying to think if they like giving it to Eurus
Radiant
as well.
team ban.
China does like flexing the DP to a 1, but if you like Eurus,
I mean, it works with an
trying to
Omni Knight,
remember.
right? It's the same sort of idea when you're coming up against, when you've got an Oracle and
10
a
seconds
Baton on your
remaining.
team, right? You just want to be able to pop your Exorcism and run at the enemy team without too much of a
5
concern.
seconds remaining.
And Omni Knight with the Heavenly Grace, you're going to have that extra little bit of HP that you're getting, plus the Spirit Siphons going off. And then, of course, the
Radiant
heal,
team
the Guardian Angel. They're all going to be pretty good, of course, though Guardian Angel will be dispellable with the Oracle Fortune's End. So that is a little bit of a concern. I'm keen to see how effective it's going to be, especially with the change to the silence on the Death Prophet. That was the big thing for mine. It is a much slower, well, it wasn't a
10
projectile
seconds
before,
remaining.
but now it is a relatively slow moving projectile. And against something like a Storm Spirit, provided that White Album's on his game, which he is going to be, he should be able to get away from it. So we'll see how things go for him.
Oh, Asta, they got minimum reserve time to try and find the XXS hero. Feels like I want a way for them to initiate fights a
10
little bit easier and
seconds
crowd
remaining.
control for this Monkey King, because they don't have the greatest way to keep them
5
inside the
seconds
Wukongs
remaining.
until maybe an Ags from Storm and the Coddle.
Lock people in, you mean?
Yeah.
And even the Mars isn't that great, right? You can blink away with the Queen of Pain. Shaker's probably not going to be
Radiant
caught
team
inside.
pick.
Omni Knight can Guardian Angel. Pango is pretty good. Do you think they now flex this and have this as a 1 DP, and then, I know we were talking about it before, but then just pick a Bloodseeker now for Yang? Just have him constantly shove out waves with the Bloodright and not put himself in a vulnerable
10
position?
seconds remaining.
Bloodseeker does look really good. I'm trying to think
5
if they can
seconds
aggro as
remaining.
well into the Monkey if they want. Because what Death Prophet, who I feel like Elephant have a pretty good aggro if they go that regard.
Riki.
Go the
Choose your
Riki.
hero.
So we'll still
Okay.
be the Yang DP off lane. Ah, I haven't been too bearish on the Riki when he's been as a position 1. I feel like 2, you can make a lot of plays across the map, and
The damage just isn't there, you know, when you compare it to, like, I think a position 3 Riki can work. You know, you provide a lot of control once you pick up that sleep dart, but level 1, since how long ago was it? 4 months ago maybe, when they changed the tricks of the trade with the Battle Fury and how that all applies. It just feels very underwhelming. You're not able to farm as quickly as I feel a position 1 needs to.
all right, well, we'll see how the flexibility can come through from Elephant. They've got the FY staple in the Earthshaker. Mid lane does look, you're pretty solid for Somnus. We've seen previously with how the Queen of Pain is able to fare up against the Storm Spirit. It does get heavily dependent on some rotations as well, which China always loves bringing the supports to help out in the mid lane. Do you feel like maybe either team has a little bit easier of a time to enable their position 2 in the lanes?
In the laning stage, I think the Elephant should definitely come out on top. It's just, what are they going to do with that lead? That is a weird ass looking mace. It should basically crumble every time you hit with it.
The...
But I don't know. I feel like Aster, they have a lot more, not a lot more, but they've got more scaling potential in my eyes. I feel like if this game goes super late, Aster should be able to take it just because of how Riki will drop off in effectiveness. But you know, you always have to be worried
Prepare
about that
for
early
battle.
game being able to be rushed over with the relative strength of these lanes. And I do like the Yang Death Prophet. You know, I feel like it's going to enable them to take some towers and be survivable in lane.
Yeah, it really feels like Elephant are all on the capability of running over this game, because I feel like late game Dire, they're... I mean, Elephant do have very good team fight as well, but I feel like Dire, with how they can scale with their heroes, gets a whole lot easier. And I mean, Riki, you really rely on getting kills to keep up in farm. And if Monkey has a pretty solid lane, then, which I feel like he... Do you feel like Monkey should have a lane? Because it's just going to be mainly Yang, I think, solo.
I mean, at the very start, I'm sure FY is going to try and manipulate lanes a little bit, but I think more than ever,
30
you often see
seconds to
people
battle.
try and, like, around the 4-minute mark, try to make their rotations as an offlaner. Sorry, not an offlaner, as a roaming support for those water runes. But I feel like even minute 2 and minute 4, it's going to be FY trying to prevent White Album from securing one of those water runes.
Gonna see a big battle. Finally, we haven't seen many fights around the bounties through the group stages so far. But it
The
feels like
battle begins.
Radiance level 1. They're feeling confident enough to go up against Aster. We'll take a little bit of harassment, but it looks like it'll be the neutral 2 for 2 bounty rune trade there.
What do you think of this Omni Knight here? I'm not a big fan, I'll be honest.
He's slick back. He's looking, you know, got the long hair, kind of poking out the sides here, got the beard going. You reckon he picks up the ladies with the hair?
Yeah, but well, he's a holy man, so I'm not sure if that's allowed.
Yeah, very true. No sinning from the Omni.
No.
You really can't be going to hell, not a place the Omni wants to be.
Monka.
Wonka, yes.
I mean, some people might say that Dota is hell, you know, just based off how your teammates might talk to you. If he's going to be able to catch up to this courier, it is still a walking one, and you're a fairly fast boy.
Oh, not the
Yes.
Baby Roche. That has to be the best courier. Maybe not that version of the Baby Roshan, but overall, Baby Roaches, how expensive they are, they look cool. Like, even DP's got his own.
We haven't seen the ones that have, like, you know, 50 different multicolor strobe light Baby
Yeah.
Roshans that are bugged out. That tends to be a lot more common within the Chinese region.
Yeah, they like their Baby Roshans. I've always said when I was kind of casting a lot on my own channel, I'd be like, you know, if one team has more Baby Roaches than the other, I feel like it really just gives them a 10% advantage to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have
The
to,
hidden
like,
tech.
yeah, 1000%. It's the hidden advantage here, the cosmetic advantage. It's like $300, I think. It's so expensive. Let's see.
All right, so FY, he just secures the range creep with that Fisher. I'm sure he'll look to maybe pop a Clarity as he, again, just makes this 2-minute rotation. I like that. He was clearly waiting for that timing. It perfectly syncs up together, and you can see here just Somnus with his positioning. Will White Album have the Vortex? Good timing. Great job that he was able to save that.
She's able to battle decently. Oh, Somnus needs a double Remnant.
Doesn't have Blink.
Maybe with the Overlord, one more right click. Woo! That's...
Oh, he's going to go for it.
Oh, no. Wait, he's got a what? Oh.
Oh, he didn't know. He didn't look. Feels bad.
And
Well,
Yang
that's
actually,
a lot of wasted mana.
he might be in trouble up top. Purifying Flames, giving him some health back, but you see the harassment with FY not nearby. And Yang went very stat heavy in this build, so he was kind of looking to maybe man fight this lane with the high emphasis on stats. What's he got coming out on the courier? Is it boots? It is boots.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will enable him to at least play a little bit more away from the monkey, but I feel like he might now have to cut the wave with the boots because I don't see how you lean into this.
Yeah, I mean, the boots are definitely going to make things easier, but yeah, again, once that level 3 comes out on Lanham, things are going to become a lot more difficult. You just see here, FY has parked himself next to the lane. He's got complete vision of him, considering he's just underneath that high ground ward. One of the few games where that small camp wasn't blocked off, and White Album, I think he's doing a very good job here of making sure that he's able to get the most out of what's been a tough lane, especially with the amount of rotations coming his way.
Yeah, well, he even stacked up the small camp, and guess what? Getting a little bit of love from the Coddle as well, who stacked the hard, enabled White Album to get, stuck the hard. And, oh, Lennon, we're fine. Yang actually get the kill, okay? So, I was a bit worried for the Death Prophet, but no, sorry. Lennon end up giving away the first blood to Yang, which is really big considering he was a little bit low in the resource regard. So now this extra gold could kind of keep him afloat here in the difficult lane.
And with how little time FY has actually been spending in the lane, right? So the fact that he's just constantly roaming around this mid side, I'm sure he's going to go to this triangle, get a stack up, and then look to protect the top side water in again. It's not even stacking. Seems to be weird.
Super's like, no stack for you.
He's having to use the blink to get on the other side of the Fisher. We saw in the games yesterday that a few Fishers ended up griefing his team in these team fights. It was the first 2 or 3, but after that, FY was just like, all right, clowning's done. Time to enable beast mode. Monet is in a bit of a risky position, being kited out a little bit here with the Jingu stacks.
Oh, it's early in the series for
Fishers,
FY.
man.
He's warming up. Again, like you said, we saw it. He was pretty much a big reason why they're able to take that game with the Earthshaker versus Invictus Gaming. But he's warming up. He's trying to get the juices flowing.
Just needs to put his hoodie on, then he'll be warm from the very start.
100%. That's the big issue. We've debunked it, and now we know what he can do. Has Somnus still sticking around? Woo. How close is he? Shouldn't get 6 off the Cree wave. Needs a little bit more from that. Top now, Yang. He's kind of been ditched. FI still not nearby. Still got another charge of the Spirit Siphon to keep him somewhat healthy, but Monet, with these 2 points in the Jingu stacks, has got enough burst to help him go through the Death Prophet.
Yeah, Jingu stacks, the Purifying Flames, of course. It's very capable of quickly bursting down the DP before those Spirit Siphons are able to do their the lion's share of the work. White Album forced all the way back to the fountain. Prior to that, he was actually ahead of the Queen of Pain on net worth, which meant that he was having a fantastic time in the lane. I mean, 5th on the net worth on your mid laner, you're normally like, what's this guy doing? But against this hard matchup,
Lanham is in between a rock and a hard place here, as the Oracle still actually able to get back to safety thanks to Monet jumping in, and again, oh no, that's a disaster now for Yang. He just TP'd to the top lane. At least the cute play from FY should enable him to get to safety, but Monet still has the Primal Spring ready to rock and roll as he jumps in for a double.
Even getting the perfect timings on those flames as well, landing them just before One with the last hit there. So all of that valuable kill gold going the way of the Monkey King, setting themselves up really nicely for the late game.
And kind of the lane we haven't put a whole lot of attention on is bottom, where Eurus, yes, he's top of the last hits and looking to be a very good timing on his diffusal blade, but Pengoli's getting a lot of farm as well for XXS, and we saw him on our first day of casting where that Pango shield crash somehow was able to keep him alive through so much damage, just getting consistently chucked on him from afar, and then that was enough to help them turn the fights with the unexpected survivability.
This is one of the few games as well where I feel like him not going into the lucky shot.
He's gonna zip in Sonic Wave. Decent amount of damage on White Album. Now without the mana, White Album. A overzealous commitment in the mid lane.
Very deep boy. Okay, I was thinking, does he have a magic wand coming out to him? Because he's got one of his branches locked in his backpack. Feel like you got to free up those item slots there, but this is one of those few games where the Pango not go on the lucky shot's kind of okay, because you're not against anyone really that's going to be heavily disadvantaged by being disarmed, right? You've still got the tricks of the trade, Death Prophet, the right click damage isn't really where you do a lot of the work, same sort of thing with the Shaker and the Army Knight, so by the time you get it, it should be fine.
Do we feel like this is a game where FY is going to get the space to find the Blink Dagger? I mean, he's level 3 at the moment. It's very, very early on, but we haven't seen as much kill involvement as probably what he's hoping, as Eurus will be able to get the TP out. But Yang even committing X's up top. 1-8 now. He'll get a little bit of life still back, just has to try and hope that there's no more tick charges so he can Primal Spring away to safety. In fact, he's going to drop the Wukongs and try and commit to the man fight. But Yang, with that solo use of the X's, will be able to secure with a kill.
Could even just give him a couple of bottle sips here on Somnus to make sure he doesn't get the turnaround onto him.
And maybe with Coddle and Pango, let's see if that burst is enough. Success, not looking to commit the ultimate until the extra damage comes through from the shield crash, but with the positioning on Super, he's going to keep Yang healthy.
Borax off block with the Illuminate there might put him in a little bit of trouble here, actually. It's a heavy rotation, and Aster are making them pay for it as well.
Oh yeah, Borax is going on. He's got an Orchid queued up? Huh. Very interesting.
Tunnels, they seem to think they're cores.
Yeah, they're greedy boys, aren't they? FY, unfortunately, a little greedy with his positioning, or White Album. I guess just the early capability of the Storm. It always feels like he can always, wherever you are, penalize you for your little bit of overcommitment in some of your, at least positionings in the game.
I've been really impressed with how White Album's played this so far. He's going to be able to take this Bounty Rune as well, snipes the Courier away from FY as well, so that's no Arcane Boots for your Earthshaker. He is not having a fantastic game, both from the fishes, the rotation's not working out as best as possible as a result of some really nice vision from Team Aster. And yeah, now the Courier even going down. Based on the bot side. Does get it taken.
Just purge it off. Somnus. Gonna try and blink in and maybe try and find their own rebuttal here. But it's only FY to back him up. And, well, he committed with the blink. So Somnus now is forced to use the ultimate to get a little bit of distance away. But still, White Album, plenty of mana in the gas tank to go forward. And this is really getting enabled thanks to the Keeper of the Light.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Picking up the Arcane Ring as well. So nice little bit of extra value coming through, even helping him to take the stacks. This is a really good team effort coming through here from Aster.
Seeing how perfect they can play around with this Coddle. Help White Album out in the laning stage. Sometimes he came over, gave him the chakra, and now we're seeing as well, just refreshing the mana pool wherever needed. And this is a game where he's looking to continue to pop off with this early Orchid pickup from White Album.
I'm mostly keen to see what Eurus is able to do with his Diffusal Blade when he picks it up. He's less than 300 gold away. Early on, you're not going to have the largest mana pool. You're not going to have a BKB or anything like that to enable an escape on the Storm Spirit. So it's going to depend on Lanham's positioning, right? Is he going to be able to get off that false promise? If he can, things can turn around very quickly. But if not, I mean, he might even be forced to use the false promise onto himself, and that's not what you want at this stage of the game.
Do at the moment, White Albin and Lenham
Dire's
looking to
middle
try and
tower is under attack.
slow down this diffusal blade timing. Instant silence from Eurus, but as long as White Albin can get out of range, this doesn't keep him alive long enough for the rotations, and that's 2 TPs in fact from Elephant. So you see kind of the lack of players at the moment. They're really relying on this diffusal blade to give them a potential window back into this game.
White Elven griefing the stacks a little bit there. Ends up not getting either of the ones inside the main Dire jungle. Just feeling a little bit hungry for one of those power runes, as all mid laners are.
Tell you what though, this is not looking good for the position 1 comparison. Monet, he's almost got a broadsword. He's almost got the Battle Fury. He's so incredibly farmed. We saw it in his previous Monkey King game where he got such a ridiculous Battle Fury timing, and he's looking to hit probably about 30 minutes by the time it gets delivered out. Like, this is incredible.
I mean, we always talk about that, right? Ame, Monet, they are the kings of farming within the Chinese region. And Monet, he's showing exactly why this time around. Having picked up that Battle Fury already, he's having that coming out to him, going straight into the Echo Saber beyond that to enable him to actually fight into this early game aggression that I'm sure Elephant wants to bring at them.
Let's go time for them. Exorcism available. Diffusal Blade picked up as well. So they'll lead in with the Exo. They have this wraparound. They're going to try and scout out Aster's positioning on the backline, but the instant jump in, trying to burst through the Death Prophet is super sustained enough. It's not. Yang will fall. Eurus trying to do the dirty work on the backline, but now he's heavily committed. A great fissure will allow him to reposition himself to the northern side, but XXS still looking to hunt for more. The Rolling Thunder on cooldown, they're lacking the catch, but they're not lacking the damage. A super will be the second to drop from Elephant.
On the plus side of that, I mean, they're going to deny up the mid tower, just making sure there's not more gold going the way of Elephant. But Monet, he just abandoned his ancient taking for that. They realized that they were in a good position. You think he got a lot of burst?
Oh, XXS.
Well, they weren't expecting. Oh.
Swashbuckle on the higher ground. I mean, FY and Eurus were trying to go for a sneaky pickoff, but FY is just going to continue to delay his blink timing. 14 minutes in, and no sight for him to pick up this blink at a decent timing.
Yeah, he's not even close. And in the meantime, you're just getting more and more farm here onto the other cores. Monet looking to accelerate his farm even more. Did he end up getting... Yeah, he got the kill onto Yang in that previous fight. So just things going from good to better for Aster.
Dude, I cannot believe Borak as an Orchid. 2-1-2, 59 last hits. He's got 5 less last hits than your offlane Death Prophet. Like, this is the thing about the hero. With how much farm you can get across the map, Eurus is going to pop the smoke. The detection's there. Instant Orchid. No way he can blink to safety. Maybe the fissure gives him enough space, but it won't. Again, they'll end up losing out on Eurus. And our XXS still is playing pretty aggressive at the moment. We'll charge up the Rolling Thunder. It's just the supports that have the backing and the damage. And with Super coming on nearby, the sustain's coming to fruition with the bounce back off the fissure. A beautiful flay from XXS will secure a secondary kill, but the only issue is he's in big trouble. The projectile silence will fly, and it's fast enough to at least prevent any escape, but he's still man-fighting this Maelstrom procs. Wide Open even getting involved as well. The damage from the Storm is able to kill off Somnus. I don't know if he can win this man-fight versus Yang, however. He'll attempt to TP out, and Yang has got the cancel and the max-out Crypt Swarm.
Yeah, getting a little bit too keen, a little bit too eager there, but again, it just shows XXS. He was able to fight 1v3. Oh, no mana. He's dead.
Eurus is here. Oh, he missed the Boundless. Okay. That's a farming Wukongs.
Yeah, he's safe. There's no way you can kill him now.
He just wanted this creep wave. It's the catapult. Look at the worth he gets out of it. Please don't. No! No, you've got to make me look a little smarter than that. Oh. All right. Well, 5,000 net worth lead, huh?
We're very happy with a certain item on Good Mate Somnus.
Somnus, I see. Mage Slayer. This is it. This is how they come back now. I'm still surprised you haven't seen it as much. Borax. Clipped him with the fissure. Eurus. really finally getting on the board with this diffuser blade. They've had it for quite a while. And this double orchid now on Aster as well. So many heroes that are heavily reliant on spell casting through these fights.
It's kind of counterintuitive though, right? As the Queen of Pain, you know, you want to be able to just run away, you know, get your spells off and run away. But if you get orchided, your instant reaction is, oh god, what do I do now? At least you're going to have that inbuilt magic resistance. But to be actually turning and fighting and getting at least one right click off onto these key heroes, the Storm Spirit in particular, it's going to take a bit of a shift in the normal quap mentality.
Radiant, they're looking to come down bot. My only issue with this position of fight is how you're going to get an objective out of it. Like, DP really wants to fight and then take a tower, get full utilization out of this exorcism.
And it's level 2 Exo as well, so plenty of damage available. Going into the Mithril Hammer as well before the Ogre Axe, which is a little surprising to me. You know, with the amount of... all you really want to do as a DP in the super early game is just live for as long as possible. Your Exorcism Spirits are the ones doing the damage, so the Mithril Hammer pickup, a little odd to me.
Man, Somnus has got to be so careful. They don't have Eurus nearby. TP's available potentially to the Outpost or the tier 2, but it's like Aster probably... the right call to make, just backing off. And I mean, Monet is legitimately just free farming. He's about to have BKB. Why fight right there? Like, this is a big item for your monkey. Once he picks this up, then he can look to fight.
Oh yeah. It's the 18-minute mark. Did they get any of those tier 2 neutral items just yet? Oh, they got the Brigand's Blade. That's going to be fantastic on the Monkey King. Who will they find?
Oh, Eurus.
Got the dust
He's
on
got
the
super
storm.
nearby. But it's just on the eastern side. He tries to pop the Guardian Angel. They know he's nearby then. 1-8. Can he provide the vision? And they might be able to just take the tier 1. I don't know if they can roach just yet. XXS. He's only got 1 point in the lucky shot.
It just looks like they're changing tactics a little bit here. They're like, look, we've lost the laning stage. It sucks. That's Dota. That's life sometimes. And we don't really have the capabilities to come back. I think they're just putting everything in onto FY here.
Yep.
You know, he's not being part of any of these defenses. He's planting himself down towards the bottom side in the dead lane, if you will. But, I mean, it's for a good purpose. His Blink Dagger has been delayed for far too long. It's just what will Aster be able to do with this timing that, well, they might even actually find FY here.
Maybe that fissure will give him some space. But I'm worried though, because it feels like Aster late game is... I feel like at least Monet matchup versus the Riki is going to scale. It's going to come down to, like, Riki is a great hero at assassinating heroes, so you have to kill the Oracle and the Cuddle, and maybe with the numbers advantage, they can then kite Aster away from, you know, the Wukongs, and then with that ultimate on cooldown, maybe they can overwhelm in the fights after that. But it's... like, that's a really tough ask.
It is, and I mean, when a lot of people talk about late game, they're like, oh, that means, like, you know, 40 minutes plus, but I think it's just, like, when you hit your timings is how I really define the late game. And the thing with Aster is they're going to get to that period a lot sooner than Elephant, both on the Monkey King as well as the Keeper of the Light, right? He has got a ton of net worth on Borax.
He's even gone Blink Dagger next as well, so he wants his own little jump in. Nothing you'd really expect on a Coddle with his itemization, but, you know, we've been seeing a lot of interesting builds. I feel like no one would have been expecting the position to Coddle that, you know, was kind of invented in the European region.
Well, you say that. I think it was on like the Chinese version of Reddit. Someone posted about it, and XinQ did it in a pub.
That's
as
right,
that position too. So I think it was kind of done at the same sort of time. All these sorts of meme strats start from somewhere. You know, the pro players, as good as they are, can't think of everything. Even the remember the old Beastmaster axe?
FY?
People are like, this is busted.
No, at least he just completed the Blink Dagger, so Eurus is trying to find
got
what
low mana.
Okay. He can just always just TP away. Somnus won't have an answer. Cancel. And that now gives up top. So this will be the last remaining tier 1 tower getting claimed here from Team Aster.
Well, nicely done by White Album again. Unfortunate that I'm not sure if they're aware. Elephant just need to use the power of the unknown to their advantage, right? They don't know that he doesn't have this Blink Dagger right now, so look to heal up, defend the top tower, sure, but then smoke up and try and make a big play, hopefully convert that into Roche. I think this next team fight is the one that's going to decide the game.
They need to get an objective out of this fight, though. Like, you need to take it around an area where a tower or Roshan can be claimed. Because it can be nice to get kills, but like then it puts all your ultimates on cooldown, and Aster might just walk in the Roche pit after that.
And just look at their vision.
They're baiting the regen. A cute attempt on White Album, but instantly Monet with the answer. He does drop the ultimate to force them away. So we'll see if Elephant look to smoke up instantly. Yeah, the pings are called. FY.
Yeah, why
smoke
not?
Popped. And Aster, they're not grouped up at the moment. This could cost them here. Land them on the front line. Probably the ideal target to pop the smoke if you just lose the Oracle, but now he's backed off further for the smoke position. Oh, they see him though. How did he? There was smoke.
They had the... No, he popped it first, just on the Ricky.
He's still smoked. I don't... Yeah, he is. I have no idea.
Vac.
Yes.
Ban him, Gaben.
Deep find on the Oracle. That's the target. Sonic Wave. Lenham's still alive. This is a lot of abilities to try and kill off the Oracle. And Eurus gonna get caught out as well. Look how deep he is. What? How did Lenham survive? And now Yang? Oh, he's gonna probably have to BKB TP up. The TP's still on cooldown. He's even gonna commit the exorcism. This is a big use of the abilities here and the items on Yang, and not going to get back to safety. They'll try and chain control him. Great position for the Omni Knight. It's all up to FY now to bring them back into the team fight, but Pango is going to look to disrupt that. And Echo Slam solely dropped on XXS. Somehow Yang is still alive. But a lot has been committed here, and no one has died on Aster. So the jump on forward, XXS shard, subspace Wide Album once again. Zip on the backline. They're able to deal with the Omni Knight, but still, where's the damage left in the tank from Elephant? They can jump in, they'll kill off the Storm, and Yang still looking for the backline again as the Oracle will get chunked down. Ghost Scepter not enough to protect him, but Monet looking for a little bit of revenge as the Wukong Command back up the control, lacking at the moment. As Somnus can reset with the blink. They're back in on the Death Prophet though. Yang still survivable, but the Yules unable to dodge the Illuminate. So finally, they'll kill off the pesky Death Prophet.
Thanks a lot, and there was a ton of damage dealt by both sides there. It was a buyback used as well on the Oracle. Man, just XXS, he's surviving for so long in all of these team fights, even with all of the attention coming through from Elephant onto him. Echo Slam drops solely to make sure that you
they
can
see
deal
him
with
on
a bit
A.
of extra damage to
They
him.
see him farming aggressively. Somnus wants to do the dirty work on the supports. They know they need to get rid of this survivability, but a great use of the Orchid. It stops FY's abilities, and now XXS with a counter initiation, locking down Eurus, preventing the extra damage from the Ricky. What a split as Aster bring the reinforcements to defend the triangle. Somnus has the BKB TP out. There's no answer. But Aster, an incredible hold.
And, you know, it was a pretty good team fight for them, but it just, again, it didn't result in anything. No objectives were claimed, and, well, with all those big ultimates used, no Guardian Angel, no Echo Slam, no Exorcism, they can't defend against this Roche fight. They probably won't even be alive.
Nothing they can do. I mean, dude, the Orchid on Borax. Who knows how differently that could have been if he got a fissure from FY. Like, that could have just maybe enabled them to get that one kill into the next, Now you're fighting up against the Aegis on the Storm.
Can we just talk again about Lanham surviving in that previous engagement?
Yeah.
Like, the reason he survived, A, Fluffy Hat, B, Ghost Scepter. Because he used the Ghost Scepter when the Quap used the Sonic Wave onto him, but that doesn't actually amplify the damage. It amplifies magic damage, and Sonic Wave is still pure. So he was still able to get the maximum usage out of it as possible, living on about 10 HP, able to get the False Promise off, and then bring it back for what would have been a pretty comfortable teamfight victory for Elephant, which basically ended up being 50-50.
Have you taken a look at Eurus's net worth compared to the Coddles?
Not so good.
Nah, no bueno. It's
Oh, Eurus.
even worse
They've
now.
got the
Super
gem as
pretty
well.
good positioning. Heavenly Grace unfortunately still on cooldown. Oh my god, he's not gonna tick out. They're going Solar Crest. Ricky's not the on super. Ricky's really not the greatest right clicker. Like you don't want the attack speed on him down bot. Somnus force him up the BKB. They got the fissure and the bonus lockdown from Yang Silence. But now, you know, they've killed off the Storm. Somnus is trying to retreat. White Album, who they found. They've caught out the Ricky. Well, at this stage, is pretty much a support.
Not being able to have that Manta style is griefing him so hard against these orchids that Aster have built up into. Actually, I thought that maybe something had pushed Monet off the trees, but it was just White Album knocking him out with the zip forward, so...
These fights don't look like it's going to get any easier at all from Elephant.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
hell, even
is
just
under attack.
the BKB TP strategy is going to be null and void very shortly. Only 400 gold away. Will be less after this tower if they're able to claim it for Monet
Radiant's
as he builds
bottom
into that
tower is
basher.
under attack.
Well, Radiant, see if they can hold. Yang, he's got the level 3 in the Exorcism. He needs to create an immense amount of chaos so FY can lead in for a big echo. They see a lot of the Aster heroes, but a bit too far away to condemn them from taking that outpost.
What's he going into here on the Pango? Yule Scepter for himself. I mean, yeah, why not? Just any sort of way pre-BKB that you're able to lock someone down, you take it. You're as desperately going for that Manta style.
Even against the smoke cloud, I mean, it is 6 seconds, but maybe just disrupting the Ricky's initiation, the silence from the Death Prophet to purge it off, like, and not even just a chain lockdown, just even more survivability from XXS. Yang showing at the moment. They see Eurus right now. XXS charge up the Rolling Thunder. Beautiful timing on this Orchid, but they've caught out Storm again on the backline. White Album able to pop the BKB. A beautiful ultimate from Monet, and they can just target down the cores with ease and turn their attention to Somnus next. A BKB pop is going to be protected for long enough. Now with the buybacks coming into the fray, Monet super aggressive on the front line, but he's got Scardy. He's ever so tanky. It's an echo from FY, but they stop the counter initiation as there's no extra stun lock for thanks to the Orchid.
Again, it just feels so hard to take all of these team fights unless you've got the Death Prophet alive. It's so much sustain, it's so much burst damage, and it's kind of why you picked it to pair together with the Omni Knight, right? Just to be able to put him on the front lines, have the Heavenly Grace on the top of him, but without him, you just feel like you're hitting a wet noodle. It was a great Echo Slam again coming through from FY, hitting onto both Monet as well as White Album, but there's just no follow-up.
Eurus?
Oh, Eurus.
And now he's just baited his support. Okay, this one...
This is bullet territory.
Yep. It's looking real grim right here for Elephant. I mean, an 18,000 deficit, and
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
it's...
I don't see how they defend against this. No
Radiant's
Glyph,
middle tower is under
no
attack.
Sonic Wave. They've got Exorcism, but no Echo Slam or Guardian Angel, so you can just stick yourselves up here. Even having the Wukong command in a couple of seconds, which they might just pop to assist with taking out this tower.
Yang? He's charged the Exorcism, but he didn't jump in instantly, so now the Queen of Pain just gets answered instantly from Monet. And now they're on top of Yang as well. That looks like it was the real last-ditch attempt, and even before Yang dies, Elephant, they call it quits as Aster just
Radiant's
real
middle
quick
tower
and
has
easy. Game 1 performance from them. Didn't look too tough at all.
I think big credit has to be given to White Album that game. The fact that he got out of that laning stage was as much as he did, considering he was constantly being rotated onto, constantly being disrupted, having his stacks blocked up, and like beating the Queen of Pain in lane. And this is Somnus that he was coming up against. I thought he did a fantastic job and clear MVP for mine.
I really wonder, like, what they were also able to get out of the supports too. Like, it felt like you put a lot of emphasis on, you know, at least giving the props, I should say, to White Album, but I think Borax also enabled that. Like, the early game refreshing the mana, enabling him to kind of continue taking these early game fights and just also helping with his farm. Because it wasn't, on paper, it's not the greatest matchup versus the Quap. So getting that extra mana can enable him to flash farm the jungle, get these items at a great timing. A first item Orchid from Borax is an interesting build, and boy did it pay off this game as well as just Team Aster. A beautifully methodical gameplay from them. Another game we see Monet pop off as well and get an incredible timing. His previous game on the Monkey King was a 13-minute Battle Fury, and this was no different with the timing he got. 12, 1, and 6. A beautiful performance overall from the boys on Dire. And even though it is the two TI representatives, game one, Aster looking like they're just a caliber ahead, but it still all comes down to execution and draft. Unfortunately for Elephant, they weren't able to steamroll over this game. Very reliant on that first kind of window of the Diffusal Blade and Exism, but it just didn't work out in their favor. As Aster, a beautiful victory for them, taking game one. And when we come back, we'll have game two of Team Elephant taking on Team Aster.